Mad swag, you see that? Bam, bam.
Sun and surf and sand coming together somehow makes food more flavorful.
Yummy.
I think this location actually makes the food taste better.
The freshest ingredients,
Straight from the sea, straight to our doors and onto your plate.
the most vibrant colors,
Wow, that looks delicious. You like it? Wicked good, isn't it?
So good, you're gonna wish you had worn your Thanksgiving pants.
cooked to perfection.
Whoa! That looks incredible.
Your mouth should be watering right now as you're watching this.
And it's just delicious, and I can't imagine anyone not loving it.
Coast to coast in search of 12 of the best.
After a long day at the beach, this is guaranteed to hit the spot.
So very tasty.
I'm Roger Mooking, and this is Man's Greatest Food, Island Eats. When you're traveling through Maine, you gotta find yourself a lobster pound. I found a place called Trenton Bridge Lobster Pound, and they do it the old school way. It's saltwater boiled over a wood fire. Sometimes a simple seafood sandwich can be really special. Leading off at number 12 is an East Coast mainstay. It's the lobster salad sandwich at Trenton Bridge Lobster Pound in Trenton, Maine. So is this a traditional Maine-style lobster cooker?
Yes, it's built out of brick. We have 6 stainless steel pots, and we cook in the salt water because the salt water gives the lobster a little more flavor opposed to just fresh water.
At the Lobster Pound, they hold thousands of fresh lobsters in seawater, which is circulated and kept at about 38 degrees. Pretty cold, but for a lobster, it feels just like home. Okay, so how much lobster are we gonna do?
We're gonna do about 100 pounds for lobster sandwiches and lobster stew for today.
Woo, it's rolling in there. They're going in.
Okay, so how long are you gonna cook those lobsters for?
We're gonna leave them in about 20 minutes.
And then it's time for picking.
So I'm standing here with Josette. You know, this is Warren's mom. This is a family business, and everybody in the family is taking part. She's gonna help show me how to make some lobster salad, right?
Yes, lobster salad, one of our specialties.
For culinary purposes, a lobster is made up of 5 basic parts: the abdomen or tail, the claws, the knuckles, the legs, and the body.
You take the lobster, break off the claws, twist off the tail, break off the flippers, push the meat up through the tail. Take the sand vein out, and then you break off the knuckles, remove the rubber band, take the thumb from the claw so you remove the cartilage from the meat. Then we'll break the claw and pull the meat right out.
Well, I've cracked a few of these lobsters, perhaps not nearly as many as you,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm feeling pretty confident, you know. I think we
bet
should do
you
a battle,
are.
Josette.
Are you sure you want to?
I think we can do a battle.
All right, you're on, Raj.
And I even give you a little head start. You see that? Being nice. Give her a little head start on that lobster.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
All right. Give it to her.
Ooh, man, she got fast on me. Woohoo! She's good, boy. She's almost one down. She's almost. Oh no!
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
How's that look?
It looks spectacular. Okay, so all that hard work has now come to what looks about maybe 2 pounds of chopped lobster meat,
Yes,
right?
it is.
So I see we have a little bit of celery here. That just gets chopped, put in, right?
Yes, everything's very natural.
Okay, and a little bit
simple.
of mayonnaise.
Yes, that's right.
Right? You know what I love is the simplicity of this recipe, Josette.
Well, you know, the lobster itself has a nice flavor, and when it's cooked in the seawater, it doesn't need anything else added.
That looks good, I think.
Looks really good.
Is that the portion that you normally serve, or is
I
that
would
like
say
the Rod's
pretty
portion?
close. Well, we use a pretty healthy portion here, too, in our sandwich.
Whew.
You gonna try that?
I'm definitely gonna try it. Look
Yeah.
how delicious that looks.
Wow, that looks delicious. You like it? Wicked good, isn't it?
You know, Josette, it's a really satisfying bite. The lobster meat is really clean, very, very plump, but the bread is the perfect balance for it. obviously just that clean, refreshing bite that's coming from the celery. It's a perfect combination.
I'm glad you like it, Roger.
That is wicked good.
In Florida's Key West, it's all about the conch. Man's greatest food, Island Eats, number 11, are the conch fritters at Louie's Backyard. At the southernmost tip of Florida, the Keys are comprised of 1,700 large and small islands. And at the outermost point is the island of Key West, home of America's only living coral reef. The treasures of the sea are what gives Key West its proud title as the Conch Republic.
We're called conchs, not conches, because there's no such thing as a conch.
It makes sense that one of the most iconic dishes here is the conch fritter, savory vegetable and ground conch batter, which are fried to a golden brown.
Conch, everything conch fritters. You can't really get that anywhere else, so that's definitely a treat when we come to Key West.
Conch is a sea snail living inside the large spiral shell that is seen all over the Keys.
And if you pick one of these up, this animal will come out, and where this is, there's a head that was attached, and it has these big kind of googly eyes, and they're kind of cute.
Unlike oysters, clams, and mussels, the conch shell is a big house for the little snail that's inside. At Louie's Backyard, they've been doing conch fritters for more than 30 years. This former oceanfront Victorian home is located in the Casa Marina district on the south side of Key West, where old plantation-style houses still line the streets and white sandy beaches are just steps away.
I think this location actually makes the food taste better.
For owner Jed Tenney, this place is rich in family history.
My parents met here in Key West, and they ended up getting married here at Louie's Backyard. Many hurricanes have come and pretty much destroyed this place. We keep rebuilding, coming back. We love this place. We won't leave it.
And Chef Doug Shook won't leave it either. He's been cooking conch here for over 30 years.
I'm much better at cooking conch than blowing a conch shell.
Unlike most restaurants who have their conch delivered ground and frozen, Doug buys it whole so he can inspect it and then grinds it himself. Conch tastes like a cross between an artichoke and a scallop, so it doesn't need a strong coating.
The fritter is flour, eggs, milk, and some vegetables to flavor the conch, and that's about it. The other liquid we add is beer, and it gives it a little bit of a tang.
Yellow peppers, red peppers, jalapenos, and onions are mixed into the batter.
One last thing, a little bit of hot sauce. And why? Flavor.
Last but not least, the conch. Fritter-sized scoops are dropped into the fryer.
Perfect. Those are beautiful fritters.
A house-made pepper jelly and spicy wasabi serve as the sides, and the conch fritters are ready to go.
It has peppers and onions and everything, but it has little finely diced up conch meat. Just a sweet, delicate meat.
Conch is a little bit chewy. If you like octopus or calamari, you kind of like be right there. It's one of my favorite foods. It's great.
I think that the conch fritter is completely unique. You have the combination of what people like, that fried dough, and then you throw in this amazing shellfish, and it's just delicious, and I can't imagine anyone not loving it.
Up next, pack heavy.
So good, you're gonna wish you had worn your Thanksgiving pants.
Then later,
your mouth should be watering right now as you're watching this.
welcome back to Man's Greatest Food, Island Eats. America is a crustacean nation, and number 10 on the list showcases the versatility of the delicious crab. But first, check out this honorable mention where the crab is plated without a plate. Baltimore sits in the arm of Chesapeake Bay, one of the largest waterways in the world, and home to an endless supply of seafood, including Maryland's world-famous blue crab. Hard shell, soft shell, steamed, fried, they're the prize of the city. Captain James is in Fells Point. It's been a Baltimore staple since 1979. Second-generation owner Bill Circus runs the restaurant, and during the season, the Crab House across the street. His fishermen drop off 4,000 to 5,000 blue crabs a day. First up, sorting. Blue crabs are almost entirely edible, from the claws to the body. The entire crab is filled with delicious meat, and they come in all sizes.
This crab is an extra large. That's a jumbo. If you look at them, you can see the difference. The bottoms of the legs are blue, so the orange color comes from obviously the steaming process.
Before steaming, they get an ice water bath to make them dormant. Maryland natives love their crab meat covered in seasoning.
A lot of it, honestly, enters the crab meat from these right here. So while you're picking the crab and it's all over your hands and you're putting it in your mouth, that's seasoning all over that.
Bill's family created their own special house blend.
Everybody can buy crabs. The difference is our seasoning, put it in our little bucket here and we throw it around like fairy dust.
Batter fried, soft-shell crabs are also served. But the main attraction is the hard shells, dumped, ready to eat on brown paper. There are lots of ways to eat crab.
Amateurs use mallets. You use it because it makes the shell easier to kind of break off. I prefer to just take a leg, snap it in half, pull out. They're juicy, they're fresh, they're like piping hot when they come out. Yummy.
Continuing with crab, this next place puts a low-country spin on the Maryland staple.
This is one of our best sellers here at the restaurant. So good, you're gonna wish you had worn your Thanksgiving pants.
Number 10 on the list is the crab stuffed fried green tomato, shrimp, and grits from MARINA Variety Store in Charleston, South Carolina. There's no better place to order this breakfast dish.
You get to see the sun come up. Charleston is a beautiful city. We're fortunate to be where we are.
And fortunate to be able to order this southern masterpiece.
I'm literally gonna take the crab cake and I'm gonna smash it into that green tomato.
And dredge it twice.
Now that we got them double dredged, it's time to fry these bad boys up. All right, these crabs are caked. Let's take them off.
Next up, a mess of local shrimp.
Right here out of the waters in South Carolina. We're gonna saute them up with some of our house seasoning and butter and get them all nice, juicy, and pink for you.
Plated up on a scoop of grits.
These are famous grits, some of the best grits in town.
Add the crab stuffed green tomatoes and those succulent shrimp.
The only way to start your day, fried crab stuffed green tomatoes, shrimp, and grits.
That crab, the creaminess from the grits with the spices that they put on the shrimp, it's to die for.
You get a little bit of the crunch with the breading, the grits, nice and creamy. The shrimp, it's got great flavor. The combination, it's perfect.
The first thing that jumped out at me was crab. It tastes really fresh, and the fried green tomatoes are the perfect consistency. The water view definitely makes me feel like it just jumped out of the harbor.
Food is wonderful, it's fresh, and nothing could be finer than a great breakfast in Carolina.
Number 9 on the list is the sweet and spicy burger at The Spot in Galveston, Texas. Galveston is called the jewel of the Texas Riviera, and there's a spot so iconic its name is The Spot. Owner Dennis Bird started here as a busboy and built his beachside dream.
And for the last 15 years of my life, I've had the pleasure of owning this animal, and I spend every day of my life making it better. I love serving people food. I love making people happy. Eating here is exactly like having a cookout at the beach with your family, just somebody else is doing it.
To The Spot. Hitting The Spot for customers is the restaurant's islandy take on an American classic, the sweet and spicy burger.
This burger is gonna have a little bit of heat, a little bit of sweetness. It's amazing.
The secret heat and sweet of this waterfront burger, homemade bacon jam.
The bacon is the foundation for the awesomeness.
Dennis mixes together butter, onion, chopped bacon, brown sugar, red wine vinegar, and cayenne pepper.
Safe to say in Texas, everything's packing a little heat.
Being a restaurant owner and chef has its perks.
Best part of the job is taste testing. It's excellent. I wish that the televisions had scratch and sniff because this smells amazing.
The burger gets smoked chipotle Gouda, shredded and melted over the patty right on the grill.
There's no better way to melt cheese than just dropping it on a 375-degree flat grill. Your mouth should be watering right now as you're watching this. So now that our buns are nice and caramelized, a little bit of crunchiness on the inside, we want to plate our burger.
Crunchy lettuce covers the bottom, and hand-breaded fried jalapenos are placed on top.
The bacon jam is the yin, the jalapenos are the yang. Got to have both of them to make this burger work. And when it works, it's excellent.
Last but not least, some barbecue sauce.
This is a sweet and spicy burger. After a long day at the beach, this is guaranteed to hit the spot.
It's an explosion of taste, of flavor in your mouth. It is off the hook.
so very tasty.
Man, this bacon jam, though.
Look at the bacon, look at the cheese, look at the jalapenos.
You bite into it.
Up next, smoked meat island style.
Wow, that looks incredible.
And then, fresh and steaming hot.
There's a little bit of everything. It's like all the seafood in one bowl.
Welcome back to Man's Greatest Food, Island Eats. I'm in Hawaii, and a plate of smoked island goodness is number 8 on the list, the smoked pork, chicken, and turkey at Guava Smoke in Oahu.
When I visit a new city, I always like to try and make sure I hit the farmer's market. This place is the place to be. What I love about KCC is that you can get fresh produce to take home and prepared foods to eat right here. But today, I'm going to Guava Smoked, the popular stand where Scott Shibuya grills up his mouth-watering smoked meats.
Here we go. Thank you. Hope you enjoy.
Scott's secret weapon? A huge smoker box in his backyard that cooks up to 380 pounds of pork and 190 pounds of chicken at a time.
So 600 pounds of meat in this thing alone?
Basically, yeah.
5-foot aluminum rods are placed inside the smoke box with hooks for the meat. An old computer fan provides the perfect circulation. Some Kiave charcoal and newspaper go into the firebox, and it's time to smoke this island meat.
All right. So we have all this meat in front of us. What exactly do we have here?
We got our pork shoulder.
Yep.
Our chicken quarters.
Yep.
Our boneless, skinless thighs.
Yep.
And then our turkey tails.
There's a marinade going on that all looks very similar.
Basically, it's a typical local style marinade, you know? We got soy sauce, brown sugar, rock salt, garlic.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's load them up.
All right, here we go.
Now, all these meats are being cold smoked below 150 degrees, but we're gonna finish it on the grill at a high heat to make sure it's fully cooked through.
600 pounds of meat are locked and loaded. Guava wood is soaked and put on the coals, and the waiting begins. We let the meat bathe in that sweet guava smoke. And 4 hours later,
wow, that looks incredible. I get the aroma of guava, the fruit, very sweet, very bright.
Grab a couple of them, throw them on a grill, and add even more flavor.
Now, how long before it's sort of crisped up on one side?
A couple minutes.
Oh, you see that? You see that? That's char, people. That's flavorful char. How do we prepare a plate like traditional Hawaiian style?
Traditional Hawaiian style. You need rice.
And you got some greens here. These are some local Hawaiian greens.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look at that. It's a thing of beauty. And just like I was talking about, you know, that's not oil there. That's coming from that brown sugar and kissing the top. It's glazing the top, okay? And these turkey tails, oh, look at that, the same thing. See, at one point, you could see the rice and the vegetables, but, you know, it's about the meat. I'm not gonna lie. You wanna hold that for me one second? I'll get cutting a couple of little pieces for us to try. Oh, my goodness. The meat, it cuts so tender. Oh, my gosh. I definitely taste the guava wood. I taste the kiave, that little bitterness from the kiave. That roundness and the marinade comes through as well. But what's important is none of it overshines the flavor of the meat. That is legit. Mahalo.
And Southern California has the #7 Man's Greatest Food, Island Eats, the Laguna Chiopino at the deck on Laguna Beach. Food aside, dining anywhere on the California coast is an experience. And the deck in Laguna Beach is just steps from the surf.
It's paradise. You look out, you see ocean for days. The salty air, you can just smell it and hear it, and the waves crashing. It's literally like you're on the beach, steps from toes in the water.
There's no better dish to represent the ocean's bounty than the deck's signature Laguna Chiopino.
Chiopino is a classic San Francisco dish. You're looking at the water, and that's exactly where the fish came out from, and that's where you want to eat it.
First, Chef Reiner sweats down some vegetables, garlic, and olive oil, along with onions and lemon zest.
Oh, I smell the garlic right now. You want to make sure you always smell the garlic. So now it's like nice and sauteed, right? Then you put a little bit of the fish stock in there, right?
He lets that simmer for a bit.
Now that the fish stock is reduced, we're gonna add a little bit of the San Marzano tomatoes. And then at the end, you put some beautiful heirloom tomato concassé.
Tomato concassé is a tomato that's been peeled, seeded, and chopped. The base simmers for 20 more minutes, and then Chef turns to the seafood.
The scallops and the red snapper, we're gonna sear nice and crispy. And then we have some beautiful Venus clams and some beautiful Carlsbad mussels. And we're gonna cook them separately with a little bit white wine, fresh garlic, fresh herbs until they completely open up.
All of the flavors blend together beautifully.
Now we're gonna put a little bit fennel on there. And this is the wrap, my friends. Beautiful Laguna Chiappino. Enjoy.
Oh, wow.
That is a tower of seafood. Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Look at everything that's in this. I think I am in heaven right now. There's a halo above me. I'm feeling good. The sun is shining.
Buttery, velvety, kind of melts in your mouth. I don't know what seasoning they use in this broth, but it's like need to be kept top secret because it's amazing.
You got the waves, you've got a cocktail, you've got seafood. Life is perfect.
Cheers to that.
There's a little bit of everything. It's like all the seafood in one bowl.
Number 6 on the list is the Love Shack from Savannah Seafood Shack in Savannah, Georgia.
My family has been in the fresh seafood market business here in Savannah for over 25 years. We get our seafood straight from the sea, straight to our doors and onto your plate.
And the finger-licking fresh favorite they're making today is called the Love Shack.
Kind of a sample platter, has a little bit of everything we offer here at Savannah Seafood Shack. We have our corn on the cob, our red skin potatoes, mussels, clams, crawfish, shrimp, and then the crab legs. Everything boils at a slightly different time, and we want to get the timing perfect, so we boil everything separately.
They start by seasoning the boil, and then the individual elements go in. Parboiled corn on the cob goes in first, then the red skin potatoes.
The red skin potatoes have a unique flavor. This is a slight spin off of a low country boil. So low country boil is going to have your corn on the cob and then your red skin potatoes.
Next up, the mussels.
Savannah, being right along the coast, is known for its fresh seafood. And we're right in the middle of downtown, so you can't get any better seafood than here.
Then clams.
And they come straight out of the mud, so they come fresh as can be.
Then crawfish and crab legs.
So last thing that goes in is our local Georgia shrimp.
It doesn't take very long. After about a minute and a half, items start coming out and go into a steamer bag.
So we're gonna boil everything to about 95%, and then that last 5% will be steamed in the bag. And then once our customers open it, that steam hits them in the face, and it is awesome.
A couple steps left. Next, a squeeze of lemon.
This is our Cajun seasoning, and it's a proprietary blend, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of cayenne, salt and pepper, a little bit of paprika.
And finally, a healthy drizzle of garlic butter.
Can't be in the South and not add any butter. So we're gonna pinch the top and trap all that steam. And the last 5% of the dish is actually gonna cook in the bag. So we'll give it a shake. We wanna cover every nook and cranny of our seafood with all those spices and garlic butter. And then we put it in our serving bowl. And we just dump it right out of the bag.
And time to eat.
Now this is our Love Shack for 2, and it has a little bit of everything from Savannah.
When our customers first receive our Love Shack, we love the look on their faces. You unwrap the bag, the steam just comes out, the aromas really just smacks you in the face.
And it is absolutely amazing. It came out in this big steam bag and it was knotted, and I got to untie it and like pour it out myself, so all the juices and butter and everything went all over the food.
I love fresh seafood. Here's where you get it. This is great. It's absolutely amazing. Wow.
We'll be back.
Up next, turn up the heat.
Instantly, my sinuses are clear.
Then later, dig in.
It's the only way to eat poke, with your finger like this.
Wow. Welcome back to Man's Greatest Food, Island Eats. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina for number 5 on the list, and it brings the heat. It's the Wasabi Oyster Shooters at Pearl's in Charleston, South Carolina. In South Carolina, oysters are a local delicacy, and in Charleston, the place to get them is Pearl's.
Welcome to Chucktopia.
Chucktopia.
I love it. People call me Chief. It's a love-hate relationship between a lot of customers and I. Usually they hate me at first, but then they learn to love me. There's a certain je ne sais quoi about when we work together.
Chief's partner in crime is Chef Nate, known for his oysters and his shucking prowess.
There's definitely a speed factor when you're behind the raw bar. You know, on a busy day here at Pearl's, we could be shucking up to 200 to 250 dozen.
Oysters are a member of the mollusk family and are prepared a number of ways, cooked or raw. No two are alike, and here's a fun fact. Fishermen say they are meatier in months with an R in them. Once they're shucked, you've got an oyster on the half shell. And if you like them hot, Pearl's wasabi oysters are where it's at. There's no shortage of wasabi paste and tobacco here.
Mad swag, you see that? Bam, damn. Those oysters are beautiful, man. Look at how clean you got that locked up.
So what we're gonna start with is we're gonna start with wasabi paste.
Hey, that's a lot of wasabi.
We're gonna add some of this wasabi topeka, flying fish roe, fish eggs, infused with wasabi. Not only is the flavor there, but the texture of it pops in your mouth.
Yeah, I like that, man.
And then the last component is just a marinated cucumber.
Look at how beautiful that is. The colors, all these different grades of green like that. Whew. Instantly, my sinuses are clear. But at the beginning, it really gives you the burn, you know? And that's clean and crisp.
Poke is like a Hawaiian comfort food. There's always poke at any party you go to in Hawaii.
Aloha. The number 4 Man's Greatest Food Island Eats is the poke at NICO'S Pier 38 in Honolulu, Hawaii. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, Honolulu is a tropical gold mine for fish lovers. Hawaiians consume twice as much fish per capita as mainlanders, and the cult favorite is poke. Very simple, bite-sized chunks of fish prepared with seaweed and seasonings. In Honolulu's commercial fishing village located on Pier 38, the fish auction brings in 40 to 50,000 pounds of fresh fish every day. NICO'S is right next door, where French-born chef and owner NICO'S has honed his skills with the art of poke making.
The NICO'S concept is kind of a seat to the table, so you see the boat right there, and the table is right there, and here we go.
What started out as a small lunch takeout spot has morphed into a happening restaurant and fish market, with dozens of poke dishes to choose from. NICO'S seafood manager Ricky Pataxel fillets up to 800 pounds of fresh fish every day. He starts by breaking down the morning's catch. Today, a big-eye tuna, or as many call it, ahi.
As you fillet the fish, you want to take 4 quarters off. I'll lift the fin up, go under the collar. Tail's kind of in the way right now. He's gone.
There are simple steps to filleting a fish. First, one quick slice under the collar removes the head. Then, using the fish's backbone as a guide, fillet 4 quarters off the body of the fish, creating the loins.
Here you have the 2 bellies and the 2 back. The bellies are definitely preference for using your poke and sashimi.
Then it's NICO'S turn to work his poke magic.
Looking for a fish who's really firm, nice, dense, firm meat. Color should be bright red.
He slices it into 3/4-inch cubes. This is a traditional poke. Chili pepper flakes, Hawaiian sea salt, roasted sesame seed, and local kukui nuts, along with Maui sweet onions, sesame oil, green onions, and Hawaiian seaweed, known as ogo.
I like that crunch it gives to you poke, and it's nice, fresh taste, to it.
A little salt, and mix it together.
It's the only way to eat poke, with your fingers like this.
Wow.
This poke tastes so fresh because there's no fishy taste to it.
I always tell people, go to the beach, take some poke with you, and then enjoy that way.
Up next, tangy dessert for breakfast.
People do not eat the key lime pie just for dessert. They have it as appetizers. They have it with their coffee in the morning. Why save dessert for last?
And then, 8 times better.
The suckers are all still attached to it, so it kind of really gives that exotic flair.
Welcome back to Man's Greatest Food, Island Eats. As an honorable mention to the list, here's a fresh take on an island classic, key lime pie. Below Zero in Savannah, Georgia buys local key lime pies and works them into their sweet ice cream on a frost-topped grill. The pie is topped with homemade key lime syrup. Then the deconstruction begins. Once blended and smooth, they roll it up into delectable spirals of sweet, tangy goodness. A half a dozen or so get squeezed into a cup and served as a frozen, lip-puckering treat. Next on the countdown, those luscious key limes straight from the source. Number 3 on the list of Man's Greatest Food Island Eats is the actual key lime pie from CAMILLE'S in Key West, Florida. Named for the Florida Keys where they grow up abundantly, key limes are different than ordinary limes.
The key limes are small. I find them a little bit sweeter, and they actually are yellow. So you know it's a real key lime pie when the pie is yellow and not green.
Making the pie starts with a crust of graham cracker crumbs, cinnamon, and melted butter.
Just sort of offsets the lime. They play together well.
While the crust bakes, the filling is made from egg yolks and cream of tartar, which helps stabilize the custard. Once the yolks are light and airy, sweetened condensed milk and key lime juice are added.
It's perfect. It's limey. It's key limey.
20 minutes in the oven is followed by overnight in the fridge. Out of the fridge, and why wait?
People do not eat the key lime pie just for dessert. They have it as appetizers. They have it with their coffee in the morning. Why save dessert for last?
There is, however, an important decision to make. There are 2 schools of thought about the topping.
There is a debate about the whipped cream versus the meringue. I happen to like the whipped cream because it's delicious and it complements the key lime pie.
Oh, I like the whipped cream because it's just so light and airy. I really like that. You don't want something so heavy to spoil the key lime pie.
Key lime pie is our signature dessert. It tastes very sweet but tart at the same time, which I really love.
The mix of graham cracker with the pie flavor and just that sweet and sour taste, it's awesome.
You get a taste of Europe, a taste of Mexico, and a taste of Southern California all in one dish.
The Man's Greatest Food Island Eats number 2 is classic Mexican, the tostada de pulpo at Romesco in Bonita, California. Looking a lot like the Mediterranean, the northern Baja Peninsula of California is all about seafood. Amongst the vineyards and olive groves, the chefs of the region have created a trend that's made it way up the San Diego coast. It's called Baja Med, or Mediterranean cuisine.
We cook with a lot of olive oil, cheeses, lamb, seafood, of course, and all the wonderful ingredients that we source around California and also Baja California.
Born of that marriage of Mexican and Mediterranean flavors is the tostada de pulpo, a classic Mexican tostada with grilled octopus. Chef Javier learned the Mediterranean business from his father Jose, who opened Romesco in 2005 after more than 30 years running restaurants in Tijuana. For the tostada, Javier uses pulpo, Spanish for spotted octopus.
We buy octopus from Mexico. This is the most tender octopus because of the hot temperature of the sea.
Octopuses have been around for centuries. Iconic for their large heads and 8 meaty tentacles, they are one of the ocean's most graceful creatures. As seafood, they are enjoyed by many cultures, including American. Javier boils it with white onions, garlic, and bay leaves.
We add the octopus little by little, like not to chop them really fast on the boiling water, so that'll make it more tender.
Cooking octopus properly takes skill. Undercook it, it's rubbery. Overcook it, and it falls apart. At just the right moment, he dunks the octopus in an ice bath to stop the cooking process.
Now we have our cooled octopus. I'm just gonna cutting them and getting them ready for our grill.
He cuts it in half and separates the tentacles.
And you see how fat and nice it is? It's amazing, super tender, it melts in your mouth.
He coats it with a chipotle and red pepper olive oil marinade.
Get a little bit of that spice in them before they go to the grill.
A minute on the grill gives the tentacles a crunch. Then Javier slices and sautés them with olive oil, salt, cracked black pepper, and cilantro.
We don't want to fry it, we just want to get it a little bit warm, let the ingredients blend together. That smells delicious. And we're ready.
And for a Mediterranean touch, a little Dijon aioli.
We will help the octopus stick, but it also is going to give it a very, very delicious flavor from the mustard.
The octopus goes on top, followed by a caramelized onion compote mixed with chipotle pepper and paste. A preserved lemon and seagrass garnish are next.
It's that sea taste, that saltiness also that I'm looking for.
Sliced jalapenos for some spice, some watercress,
and to make it more pretty, how about some marigolds?
Last, a little drizzle of oil.
And we are ready to serve.
The octopus has a little smokiness to it. The suckers are all still attached to it, so it kind of really gives that exotic flair.
Very, very tender. I was able to taste the pure, fresh lemon that they put on it, which I love. When you bite into it, it's very complex.
The octopus tostada knocks everything out of the park.
Coming up, pig roast, island style.
Kalua pig is super moist, super smoky, super tender.
Welcome back to Man's Greatest Food, Island Eats. From classic favorites like Maine lobster salad and South Carolina oysters to island must-haves like traditional poke and smoked meats, conch fritters, a sweet and spicy burger, with key lime pie for dessert, the verdict is in. Eating island style is all the way to go. And now it's time for Man's Greatest Food, Island Eats number 1. The Kalua Pig at Paradise Cove in Honolulu, Hawaii. Immigrants have made Honolulu a melting pot of diversity, and nowhere is that ethnic culture represented better than in the food. Pit-roasted pig is the cornerstone of an ancient island tradition, the luau.
It does feel like you're stepping back in time and you get to experience a little bit of Polynesian culture.
On the west side of the island, in Oahu's residential Kapolei neighborhood, Ernest Cam manages one of the last remaining authentic seaside luau's. Paradise Cove preserves an old cooking technique using an imu, an underground oven to make their famous Kalua pig.
Kalua is a style of cooking, meaning underground cooking. You can Kalua anything you want.
For the Kalua team, each day starts early. Head pitmaster Alva begins preparing the 140-pound pig by covering it liberally in Hawaiian sea salt. The pig is revered in Hawaiian culture, and once it cooks, most of it will be eaten. From loin to belly, ham to head, no part will go to waste.
The pig is then wrapped in a wire mesh to ensure that the pig will stay together, because once it's cooked, the pig will fall apart. It's a really moist piece of pork.
Kiave, local wood similar to mesquite, burns under a layer of river rocks inside the 2-foot-deep imu.
That adds a natural flavor to the actual pig itself.
As the rocks heat up, they act as a stove, keeping the pit hot for up to 10 hours. A layer of banana tree stumps goes on next.
Banana stump is an excellent bedding because it has a lot of natural water in it, and that water creates the steam that is needed to cook the pig.
With the pit ready to go, the pig is laid on top and covered in banana leaves. Then, Alva spreads wet burlap bags along with a big sheet of plastic over the trench.
The plastic is to seal any steam from escaping. This actually converts the imu to almost a pressure cooker underground.
The Kalua pig cooks all day as the island celebration builds around it.
Aloha!
The big moment arrives and the cooked pig is paraded around for all to admire. Then off to the kitchen to get ready to serve.
As you can see, the meat is already falling off the bones, and it's very tender, but it's hot. It's really hot.
Ernest removes the bones and shreds all of the pork by hand.
This is a lot of dark meat and white meat mixture. It's from the shoulder and the belly.
The Paradise Cove buffet is a delicious spectacle of Hawaiian favorites surrounding the star of the show.
And this is how we do it at Paradise Cove. Fresh Kalua pig.
It is incredible. It's really good. It's got this wonderful earthy taste to it.
Kalua pig is super moist, super smoky, super tender, like juicier than you think.
The Kalua pig, amazing. Soft, tender, moist, delicious.
Nothing like I've ever eaten before.
But all the dancing and everything and all of that combined together with the celebrations, and it's definitely an experience to remember.
This has been Man's Greatest Food, Island Eats.